It started with a roar so deep it rattled the reinforced glass walls of the station. Every officer froze, because the German Shepherd in the corner of the K9 wing wasn't just any dog. He was Demon, the most feared, most expensive, and most dangerous animal in the entire state. A legend, a monster, a broken soldier who existed in perpetual war. He'd bitten 3 handlers, destroyed 3 cages, and ignored every command. The day his partner, Sergeant Collins, died, something inside Demon shattered, and no one, not even the military, had been able to put the pieces back together. But that was before a 6-year-old girl in a bright polka-dot raincoat walked straight toward his viewing window, smiling. The station held its collective breath, and what happened next changed everything they believed about loss and love. Before we dive in, do me a huge favor. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and tell me where you're watching from. I love seeing how far these stories of hope travel. The River County Police Department had seen a lot. Bank robbers, high-speed chases, even natural disasters. But nothing held the raw terror of Demon's guttural growl echoing down the concrete hallway. He was a decorated veteran from an elite military K9 unit, once inseparable from Jake Collins. They were heroes. But on a mission gone horribly wrong, Jake was lost. Demon came back, scarred, burned, and carrying the silent burden of grief. Every major precinct had tried to rehabilitate him and failed. He wouldn't eat, he attacked medics, he refused comfort. "He's not a dog," one rookie whispered, looking through the safety glass. "He's a weapon with a death wish." Captain Mason, the precinct's most decorated officer, quietly corrected him. "He's a hero who didn't get to say goodbye." Officer Ryan Cooper didn't want the assignment. He was a K9 veteran, but this was different. "Captain," Ryan argued, holding the file detailing the severe injuries. "Demon isn't just unpredictable, he's a liability. The last handler lost partial function in his arm. Why not just recommend honorable retirement?" Captain Mason's eyes were firm. "Because that dog deserves a peaceful ending, Ryan, not an ordered one. You lost Bailey. You know what unresolved grief looks like. There's still a heartbeat in him worth saving." A quiet guilt hit Ryan harder than any argument. He couldn't abide the thought of a good dog being executed because of a broken heart. He relented. "I'll assess him, but if he shows any aggression toward personnel, he's done." The moment Ryan stepped into the K9 wing, Demon was already fixed on him. His stance was aggressive, ears pinned back, a low, menacing rumble starting deep in his chest. Ryan stopped dead. "Easy, Demon, it's just me." Demon lunged, hitting the reinforced door with a sickening clang. Ryan didn't flinch. Instead, he slowly crouched, lowering his gaze, mimicking the body language of respectful retreat he remembered from old military training videos. 10 agonizing minutes passed. When Ryan stood, Demon merely stared. The attack hadn't come. That minimal moment of control was everything. Behind the glass, Captain Mason nodded, a flicker of hope in his eyes. 2 weeks later, the captain delivered the grim news. "Chief's office, they want a status update. If he isn't stable by the end of the week, the order for euthanasia is signed." Ryan felt a wave of cold panic. "He's not violent. He's just locked in a flashback loop. We need more time." "We don't have it, Ryan. They only see the risk." Ryan fought desperately. He brought in different food, used softer tones, and even played audio of Sergeant Collins' voice from military comms. Demon would tilt his head, confused, agitated, but never fully connecting. Time was running out. Then came the Saturday morning that changed the entire fate of the dog. The precinct was quiet, coffee brewing, low chatter. A young woman entered the lobby, leading a small girl with bright, inquisitive green eyes and the distinctive polka-dot raincoat. "I'm Mrs. Carter," the woman said to the desk sergeant. "My husband, Officer Carter, used to serve here. I wanted to show our daughter, Mia, where her daddy was a hero." The sergeant welcomed them warmly. While her mother spoke with the captain, Mia wandered over to the K9 memorial wall, which ended at the public viewing gallery, a long corridor with reinforced glass looking into the kennels. In the wing, Demon's massive head lifted instantly, a scent, soft, unfamiliar, and entirely innocent. He heard the tiny squeak of her shoes approaching the glass. Ryan was in the handler's corridor, reviewing notes, when he saw the movement. A tiny figure, pressing her hands against the glass of the most dangerous creature in the state. Maya, no! He roared, sprinting, not because she could be bitten, but because he knew the sight of a stranger so close would send Demon into a self-destructive rage. But she was already there. Behind the glass, Demon stood tall and silent, his amber eyes locked on the girl. "Hi," Mia whispered, pressing her fingers against the cold barrier. "You don't look scary at all." Demon didn't move. No growl, no lunge, just a profound silence. "Mia!" her mother screamed, running down the hall. "Get away from the glass, honey!" Mia didn't budge. She pressed her cheek to the glass. "It's okay," she said softly. "You're just sad, like Daddy was." Every officer watching stopped breathing. Demon stepped forward, slowly, deliberately. He lowered his massive head and pressed his velvety nose against the inside of the glass, right where Mia's small hand rested. It was a gesture of profound, gentle surrender. Captain Mason covered his mouth. Dear God, he allowed it. If this impossible moment touched you, hit that subscribe button. You won't believe the secret behind this connection. Ryan finally understood the impossible connection a week later. Reviewing the old service footage of Sergeant Collins, he heard it. The familiar phrase the handler used to calm Demon in the field. "Hey buddy, we got this." The same words, the same exact gentle inflection. That little girl's voice was a perfect, innocent echo of the man Demon had lost. Ryan brought the wildest proposal yet to Mason. "Captain, I need to bring her into the handler's wing. Supervised. With her mother. She is the only key to saving his mind." Mason looked horrified. "That is a massive protocol violation, Ryan. I can't authorize that." "You're risking a bullet in his head if you don't," Ryan countered. "He needs this closure. I will be with her every second." After a gut-wrenching pause, Mason threw his clipboard down. 10 feet from the cage at all times. If he twitches, you pull her. Is that clear?" The heavy wing door creaked. Mia stepped inside, holding a beloved, worn-out teddy bear. Her mother stood by the door with Mason. Ryan was an immovable shadow at Mia's side. "Hi, buddy," she repeated. Demon was rigid but calm. He sniffed the air, then Mia's hand and his stiff tail gave the faintest, almost imperceptible twitch. Mia crouched down, just out of reach, and placed the teddy bear on the floor, sliding it gently toward the cage. "You need this more than me," she whispered. "My daddy was brave too. You protect it now." Demon looked at the teddy bear, then at Mia. He sniffed it once, twice, and then, with overwhelming gentleness, reached his head through the bars, took the toy, and pulled it into the kennel, laying his heavy paw over it. Ryan's eyes welled up. The beast everyone feared had finally lowered his shield. Just as hope solidified, disaster struck for real. Late one night, an emergency alarm shrieked. A wiring fire in the K9 wing. Smoke immediately filled the corridor. Ryan grabbed an extinguisher and sprinted. Most dogs were evacuated, but Demon's heavy-duty lock had fused from the intense heat. Ryan fought the door open, coughing through the toxic plume. Demon was barking wildly. Not in aggression, but a terrified, urgent warning. He wasn't alone. He was crouched over a small, trembling beagle puppy that had escaped its own kennel, shielding it from the licking flames. "Let's go, buddy, now!" Ryan screamed. Demon grabbed the beagle by the scruff, followed Ryan through the choking smoke, and burst out into the night air. Outside, as firefighters worked, officers watched in stunned silence as Demon, the monster, gently placed the traumatized puppy at Mia's feet, who had arrived with her mother. She knelt down in the rain, hugging him tightly, tears streaming. "You're a hero, Demon," she cried. And for the first time in years, Demon visibly wagged his tail. After the fire, Demon's story became legend. Reporters swarmed. He had proven undeniably that he was a protector, not a killer. Ryan adopted him permanently. Demon was officially retired from patrol, becoming the beloved mascot of the department, a silent, calm presence helping new therapy dogs. Captain Mason often smiled and said, "Guess the Demon found his angel in a raincoat." Months later, a small ceremony was held. Mia stood proudly beside her best friend, hanging a custom medal around Demon's neck. It was engraved with 3 simple words: "Still worth saving." Ryan spoke to the crowd, his voice thick with emotion. Sometimes the path to healing doesn't come from orders or commands or training. It comes from one small, brave voice that says, "You're not bad. You're just profoundly hurt." The room fell silent. Only the soft, rhythmic thump of Demon's tail against the floor could be heard. He wasn't a monster. He was proof that even the most broken souls can finally truly find their way home. If this amazing story touched your heart, please hit like, share it with someone who needs a little hope, and make sure you're subscribed. We've got more incredible, true, and inspiring stories coming every single day.